Every morning, millions of people over 60 wake up believing they're starting their day the healthy way, with a simple routine they've trusted for years. But what if this very habit, done before breakfast, is silently draining the minerals from your bones, making them weaker, thinner, and more fragile with every passing month? A leading doctor now warns that this common morning routine could be the hidden reason your bones ache more, your back feels stiffer, and your balance feels off. The most surprising part? Almost every senior does it daily, without realizing the slow damage it causes. It's early morning. The house is quiet, the air is cool, and soft sunlight begins to slip through the curtains. You wake up slowly, feeling that familiar stiffness in your joints, a little ache in the knees, a dull pull in the lower back. It's nothing new, you tell yourself. Just the usual signs of aging. You shuffle toward the kitchen, maybe stretch your shoulders a bit, and do what you've done every single morning for decades. You reach for your favorite mug, pour yourself that comforting, familiar drink, and take the first warm sip that tells your body the day has begun. For many, it's black coffee, simple, strong, and satisfying. For others, it might be lemon water, green tea, or even nothing at all until a few hours later. It feels like a routine that keeps you sharp, clean, or disciplined. After all, everyone says coffee boosts alertness, lemon water detoxes your system, and skipping breakfast helps you stay light and energized. It feels right, healthy even. But doctors are now warning that one of these morning choices, done at the wrong time, could be quietly undermining the strength of your bones day after day. For years, this habit was thought to be harmless, even beneficial. Doctors themselves once encouraged it, saying it wakes up your system and gets metabolism going. But recent studies have revealed something few expected. The timing of your first drink in the morning might be working against your bones. The truth is, your body wakes up in a delicate state. Your calcium levels are at their lowest, and your bones are ready to absorb nutrients and rebuild after a long night's rest. What happens in the next 30 minutes after waking decides whether your bones get stronger or weaker. And that's where the problem begins. When you drink coffee immediately after waking, especially before food, sunlight, or hydration, you set off a chain reaction that interferes with how your body absorbs and uses calcium and vitamin D. Caffeine itself isn't evil. It's the timing that makes the difference. On an empty stomach, that caffeine triggers your adrenal system, raising cortisol levels, the stress hormone. This spike forces your body to pull calcium from your bones and bloodstream to balance pH and stabilize your metabolism. Over time, that means less calcium available for your bones to rebuild and renew. As Dr. Melissa Grant, a clinical nutritionist and orthopedic health specialist, explains, it's not the coffee that damages bones, it's when you drink it. Having caffeine before your body has fuel or sunlight disrupts calcium metabolism and reduces vitamin D activation. It's like asking your bones to work overtime with half their tools missing. You might not notice it in a day or even in a month, but over years, that small choice, that first sip before breakfast, starts to add up. The stiffness you feel in your back, the slower recovery after a walk, the tiny drop in balance when you stand too quickly, they're all quiet signals that your bones are paying the price for a habit that felt harmless. What began as a comforting morning ritual might actually be the first silent step toward weakening the very structure that keeps you standing tall. Bones may look hard and lifeless on the outside, but inside, they're alive, constantly breaking down and rebuilding themselves every single day. Even while you sleep, your bones are at work, releasing tiny amounts of calcium into your bloodstream, and then drawing it back again to stay strong and dense. When morning comes, your body is ready to begin that renewal process all over. This is why the first few hours after waking are so critical. Hormones like cortisol and metabolism-regulating enzymes surge, telling your body, it's time to repair, rebuild, and refuel. Your bones, joints, and muscles are all waiting for nutrients, especially calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D, to begin that process. But when you start your morning with caffeine on an empty stomach, you unknowingly interrupt this rhythm. Caffeine, while useful for alertness, is also a stimulant that changes the body's chemistry the moment it hits your system. It triggers a rise in cortisol, your stress hormone, and sends a signal that energy is urgently needed. To stabilize the sudden chemical shift, your body pulls calcium from the bloodstream. And when that's not enough, it borrows more from your bones. Imagine your bones as a savings account. Each day, your body makes small deposits of calcium to keep it healthy and strong. But every time you drink coffee without fuel or minerals in your system, it's like making a small withdrawal. You don't notice it right away, but over months and years, those withdrawals add up until the account runs low. According to Dr. Elaine Matthews, an orthopedic nutrition specialist, what you do in the first 30 minutes after waking sets the tone for bone health the entire day. The body is primed to absorb calcium and use vitamin D efficiently in the morning, but only if it's not disrupted by dehydration or caffeine spikes. In simple terms, your body needs hydration first, not stimulation. A glass of water, a light breakfast, or a few minutes of sunlight helps the bones reabsorb what they need to stay dense and resilient. Without that foundation, the caffeine ends up amplifying calcium loss instead of fueling recovery. For postmenopausal women and men over 60, this effect becomes even stronger. With age, the natural production of estrogen and testosterone decreases, both hormones that help protect bone mass. That means the body's savings account for calcium becomes more fragile. When caffeine and dehydration strike in the morning, your bones don't have the same reserves they once did. Over time, this speeds up bone thinning, especially in the hips, spine, and wrists, the very areas that fracture most often in older adults. The gut also plays a hidden role here. After a night of rest, your digestive system is dehydrated and slightly acidic. Drinking coffee or tea before rehydrating can worsen that acidity, making it harder for your intestines to absorb calcium and other minerals from food later in the day. The result? Even if you eat a calcium-rich breakfast afterward, your body isn't able to use it as effectively. The minerals pass through, and your bones remain hungry for what they didn't get. Dr. Matthews often tells her patients, think of your morning like building a house. You can't put up walls until the foundation is set. Hydration, sunlight, and nutrients are your foundation. Caffeine should come only after the body is ready to handle it. The science may sound simple, but the impact is enormous. A single cup of coffee before breakfast might seem harmless, yet over years, it slowly chips away at your body's ability to hold onto calcium, one sip, one morning at a time. You may not feel the loss immediately, but the quiet story inside your bones is being written every morning by the choices you make before that first meal. You might not see the changes happening inside your bones, but your body has quiet ways of warning you. Subtle whispers that something isn't quite right. It often starts small, a little stiffness in your lower back when you get out of bed, a dull ache in your hips after sitting for too long, or that familiar creak in your knees when you climb the stairs. Maybe you've noticed your grip doesn't feel as strong as it once did, or simple things, like opening a jar or carrying groceries, seem to take more effort than before. Then there are the moments you brush off. A foot cramp in the middle of the night, a strange tingling after a walk, or a faint fatigue after doing something you used to handle easily. Sometimes, you might even feel sore after a minor stumble, wondering why it takes so long to feel normal again. These are not random signs of aging. They're early signals that your bones and muscles are quietly losing strength, struggling to keep up with the daily wear and tear of life. For some, the signs appear after a small incident, a light fall that leaves a lingering ache, or an X-ray that shows a hairline crack where there shouldn't be one. The truth is, by the time most people notice these symptoms, the process has already been at work for years. The morning stiffness, the slower healing, the subtle loss of balance, it's your body's way of saying, I'm running low on support. If you've been feeling any of these lately, it's worth asking yourself a simple question. Could your daily routine, even that comforting morning cup, be quietly playing a role? You were told coffee helps you wake up, boosts your focus, and starts your day right. No one told you it could also wake up bone loss, slowly and silently. This isn't your fault. You've been doing what you thought was healthy, following habits that millions share. But sometimes, the smallest shifts in timing and awareness can change everything. The good news is, your bones are resilient. With the right care, they can rebuild, recover, and regain the strength you may have thought was gone for good. The real problem isn't coffee itself. It's when and how you drink it. That sentence is the heart of what doctors want you to hear. Coffee is not a villain. It's a tool. Used at the wrong moment, on an empty system, It nudges your body into short-term balance at the cost of long-term bone health. Used with a little care, the same cup can be part of a healthy morning routine. Here's exactly what clinicians recommend. Simple, practical shifts you can make tomorrow that protect your bones without asking you to give up the pleasure of a morning brew. First, eat or drink something calcium-friendly before your coffee. A small glass of warm milk, a spoonful of yogurt, or a banana with a handful of almonds primes your digestive tract and gives bones an immediate supply of the minerals they need. Think of this as giving your body the tools before you start the work. When you provide calcium in the first 15 to 30 minutes after waking, your body can use it to refill bone stores instead of borrowing from them. Even a small portion works. 150 to 200 milliliters of milk, a plain yogurt cup, or a banana with a few nuts is enough to change the chemistry in your gut and bloodstream. Second, seek 10 minutes of morning sunlight before caffeine. Sunlight on bare skin, or even on your face for 10 minutes stimulates vitamin D production, which is essential for calcium absorption. Vitamin D acts like an usher. It helps move calcium from the gut into the bones. Without that nudge, even a calcium-rich breakfast won't be used as efficiently. Doctors recommend standing by a sunny window, stepping into the yard, or taking a short walk. This tiny habit supports your hormones and primes your body to make the most of any nutrients you give it. Third, drink water first thing. Overnight, dehydration concentrates acids and stresses your system. A glass of water as soon as you wake rehydrates cells, helps stabilize pH, and allows minerals to circulate properly. Hydration reduces the need for your body to pull calcium out of storage to buffer acidity. Make it a rule: 1 full glass of water, then your light pre-coffee snack, then your coffee about 20 to 30 minutes later. Fourth, focus your breakfast on calcium and magnesium-rich foods. Include dairy or fortified plant milks, leafy greens, seeds like chia or flax, and nuts. Magnesium is a quiet partner of calcium. It helps regulate bone formation and muscle function. A breakfast bowl of plain yogurt with chia and sliced fruit, or an omelet with spinach and a side of whole grain toast, supplies both minerals and gives you sustained energy. If you're vegetarian or have dietary restrictions, fortified cereals, tofu, and certain beans can help too. Timing is the critical piece tying these recommendations together. Within 30 minutes of waking, your body craves hydration and minerals, not acid, doctors say. Caffeine acts quickly. If it arrives before your body has rehydrated and received fuel, it shifts priorities toward emergency responses, raising cortisol, mobilizing stored calcium, and reducing vitamin D activation. Delay caffeine by 20 to 30 minutes, and you avoid triggering that emergency mode. You'll still get the alertness you love, but your bones won't be quietly tapped for resources first thing in the morning. These steps are not theoretical. Clinicians report that patients who adopt this routine, water first, a small calcium-containing snack, 10 minutes of sunlight, then coffee, often notice tangible improvements. Less morning stiffness, fewer cramps, and better recovery after walks. Within weeks, early markers of calcium balance and vitamin D activation can improve. Over months, bone density trends stabilize when paired with regular weight-bearing activity and adequate dietary intake. It's a cumulative effect. Tiny, consistent choices that protect your skeletal savings account from avoidable withdrawals. You can still enjoy your coffee. The doctor's recommendation is simple and realistic. Rearrange the order of your morning, not your life. Water, a small calcium-friendly bite, sunlight, then your cup. That gentle sequence gives your bones the first claim on nutrients so they can rebuild, repair, and stay resilient. Make this small change tomorrow and again the next day. Your bones will thank you by supporting the active, independent life you want to keep living. Morning routines shape far more than energy levels. They quietly shape the health of your bones, too. Coffee timing isn't the only factor. There are several small habits many people over 60 repeat each morning, not realizing they slowly chip away at bone strength and stability. These mistakes seem harmless, but together, they form a pattern that keeps your bones undernourished and underused when they need support the most. One of the most common is skipping breakfast. It's often done with good intentions. Maybe you're trying to detox, lose a bit of weight, or you simply don't feel hungry right after waking. But after hours of fasting overnight, your body wakes up hungry for minerals, protein, and hydration. Without fuel, your bones and muscles don't receive the calcium and amino acids they need for repair. Your blood sugar drops, your cortisol spikes, and your metabolism slows down, forcing your body to pull resources from stored reserves, including calcium from your bones. A small, balanced breakfast can change everything. Even something as simple as oatmeal with milk, a boiled egg, or a fruit and yogurt bowl sends your body a message. You're safe. You can rebuild. Then there's the quiet habit of sitting for long periods first thing in the morning. You might check the news, scroll your phone, or sit with your coffee for an hour or two before moving. But movement is one of the most powerful signals your bones receive. When you stand, stretch, or walk, it creates gentle stress in your skeleton, a trigger that tells your bones to hold on to calcium and strengthen themselves. Without that signal, bone turnover slows. Imagine pouring concrete, but never letting it set. That's what happens when your bones start the day without movement. Even 5 minutes of light stretching or a short walk to the garden can wake up your joints and start healthy circulation. Avoiding sunlight is another mistake, especially for those who stay indoors until late morning. Sunlight is nature's first gift to your bones. Just a few minutes of exposure activates vitamin D, which acts like a switch that helps your body absorb calcium effectively. Without it, the calcium from your diet often goes unused. Think of sunlight as a key. Without turning it, the door to bone nourishment stays closed. And finally, not stretching or walking early keeps circulation low and muscles stiff. Bones don't live in isolation. They rely on nearby muscles and blood vessels to deliver nutrients. When you stretch, twist, or bend, you're not just improving flexibility. You're pushing oxygen and minerals through the bloodstream to every corner of your body. Movement in the morning acts like wind flowing through a forest, keeping the trees of your bones alive and strong. Imagine your bones like trees. They need sunlight, water, and fuel every morning. Skip one, and they start drying from within. Just as a neglected tree's branches weaken over time, bones deprived of nutrition, motion, and light lose their resilience slowly but surely. But the beauty of the body is that it responds quickly when given the right care. Take, for example, Helen, a 65-year-old retired teacher who struggled with back stiffness and fatigue. She didn't want medication, just a way to feel stronger naturally. By adding a small breakfast, drinking water before coffee, and walking in her yard each morning, she began noticing change in 3 weeks. Less stiffness, more balance, and improved energy. Or David, age 68, who worked from home and often sat for hours. After setting a simple reminder to stand, stretch, and get sunlight within the first hour of waking, he regained mobility in his hips and noticed fewer cramps by month's end. These stories aren't rare. They show how small, consistent actions restore what time quietly takes away. Every morning, your bones wait for 3 simple gifts: movement, sunlight, and nourishment. Give them that, and they'll give you strength, stability, and freedom well into your later years. Imagine waking up one morning and feeling light again. No stiffness in your back. No hesitation before you step out of bed. You walk toward the kitchen, and your knees don't complain. You climb the stairs without gripping the railing. Tie your shoes without that dull pull in your spine, and realize something simple but powerful. Your body still listens. It still responds. It still wants to be strong. It's easy to believe that bone loss and weakness are inevitable parts of aging, that once strength fades, it can never return. But that's not true. Your bones are living tissue, constantly renewing, responding to every meal, every stretch, and every small choice you make. They're not set in stone. They're more like clay. They can still be shaped, strengthened, and supported no matter your age. The body is remarkably forgiving when given the right rhythm. Even if you've spent decades with the same morning habits, it's never too late to start again. The moment you give your bones what they crave, sunlight, hydration, nourishment, and gentle movement, they begin to rebuild. You may not notice it overnight, but over days and weeks, the difference grows quietly inside you. Less stiffness, more balance, greater confidence in every step. It's not magic, it's biology responding to care. So, the next time you reach for that coffee cup, pause for a moment. Take a sip of water first, step outside for a breath of fresh air, or eat something small before that first caffeine hit. That tiny delay, that little act of patience, is worth years of stronger living. It's a daily decision that protects your independence, the freedom to walk, bend, lift, and move without fear. Age doesn't take away your strength, neglect does. But the beautiful truth is, strength can return the same way it left, one quiet morning at a time. Each sunrise is another chance to choose differently, to tell your body, I'm still investing in you. Start with one habit, one glass of water, one short walk, and watch your bones come alive again. Now you know the truth. That one small morning habit could be silently draining the strength from your bones, day after day. But this is only one of many hidden routines that shape how your body ages, often without you realizing it. Don't let small, daily mistakes decide your future. You have the power to rebuild your strength, one smart choice at a time. Subscribe right now, tap the bell icon, and join thousands already discovering simple, science-backed, doctor-approved ways to protect their bones, restore energy, and age with true independence.